So my name is Alex. I have an Instagram and also a YouTube Love Sugar Show. I want to thank you for taking your time for doing the interview.
My name is Rob. I am guitars and vocals for Shabti.
And what's a fun fact about you?
Fun fact: my feet are two different sizes. People are always surprised to see that. So I don't know if
Yeah,
it's fun or not. It's just the first thing.
that's one I haven't heard before, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So how's everything going in your world, not just musically, but also in your personal life as well, because that's also important.
sure, sure. Pretty good. Can't complain, I guess. Musically, things have been going pretty well. Excited to get out the new album. I've been waiting a long time to get around to doing that. So looking forward to it.
Well, that's awesome. How do you feel now that it's done? There's a release date and everything.
I feel good, but I also so it's been a long time. It's been 7 years since the last one we did. So I feel good that it's done, but I feel like I'm ready for the next thing now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So I have to ask, what have you been doing in the last 7 years?
nothing exciting. Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we COVID took a lot of wind out of our sails. That happened like pretty much right after the last album we did. And then, I just had trouble kind of getting back on um, to do music again. So,
That's definitely understandable. I think it took a lot out of a lot of us, and we're like, okay, we just need to get back to normal. It just takes a little bit.
yep, yep.
So this album has a lot going on. It's very, I guess, what people would say would be heavy, which I appreciate. I like heavy stuff. I like light stuff and everything in between. How would you
Sure.
describe this album to someone that hasn't listened to it or might want to listen to it?
I don't. I mean, it depends on who the audience it is. I mean, if it's someone who's familiar with heavy music, I would probably describe it as we've always called it black death metal, pretty much. So there's a lot of other things going on, and people tend to say that it's technical, but I don't really think of it that way. It's just kind of what comes naturally to me when I
Hmm.
play, and the other guys as well. So. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess for your average person, I'd say it's pretty involved and pretty uh, harsh. I guess I don't know. It depends on who the audience is.
Honestly, when I thought of it, I was like, this music is appropriate for what Hot Topic used to be. Like you would go up there and you would hear some metal, like some real metal. And nowadays, I think you hear like Fall Out Boy, which I love them too, but I'm like, it's very
Uh,
different. So,
yeah, I haven't heard that one before.
yeah. So, talking about albums, what kind of themes does this album explore, or what kind of message were you trying to get across when it was created?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I really wrote the lyrics for myself, at the end of the day. I wouldn't say that I'm trying to get out any particular message to anybody. It's really just kind of about expressing myself, catharsis for myself at the end of the day. And I always appreciate it when other people, get something out of it.
Mhm.
This last one, I have like more kind of references to things, in my past, like growing up. And yeah, it really just varies from track to track. There's no one theme running through it.
Would you say it's therapeutic, like maybe like your
Yeah,
inner emotions coming out?
absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of why it took so long for me to do. So yeah.
Well, 7 years for emotion is definitely a lot.
Yeah.
So, what kind of emotions would you say that you put into the album? Because people say depending on some, I don't know if this is true or not, but people say depending on what emotion you're feeling, you can put that into your music as well.
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely what I do. I mean, anger, anger, it's just kind of a kind of like a valve just to release that sort of thing. Anger, sadness, mostly negative things, to be honest. I guess there's some kind of like longing for better things. Um, but in longing for better things, you're kind of thinking about how things are now. So,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's relatable though, because I feel like everyone's kind of in a spot where I don't think there's one person on the planet that you couldn't ask, like, don't you want something better? That would say, no, like, I want things the same.
yeah.
So, was there like a core idea behind the album, or how did it kind of evolve? Because, 7 years is quite a while to leave something and then pick it up. Like,
hmm
how did it kind of like all begin?
Sure. So it's for us, it's always a really natural process. A lot of musicians write all the time, and we'd already written some of the songs in 2019, and just kind of continued to write. And for the next couple of years, some of the breaks in there, I really wasn't playing at all. I've had these songs written for a couple of years now,
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean, it was just completely natural, just how we felt at the time. Um, yeah, I mean, that's how we always go about doing it. We never have like any particular um, theme or style we want to play. It's just what comes naturally. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess basically what I would say is most of the songs are probably written from like 2020 through 2023 or 2024. And we had COVID in that period of time. We weren't really getting together at all. The other
Yeah.
guys are very busy with their other projects as well. And then I finally got around to finishing the final parts of the album, like the vocals and that sort of thing. So we tracked almost everything back in I would say 2024 or so, and then it
Hmm.
kind of took some time to get back to finish it off. Really,
So were the other bandmates like weird? Like, man, we haven't done that in 7 years. What are you talking about?
not really. No, I mean they were so busy. Yeah, they were so busy, and time goes by fast. So,
Yeah.
no, I'm very full that we've been able to stay together and keep working, over this period of time. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm curious, what part of making this album pushed you into like maybe an uncomfortable zone or like a zone where you had to actually think outside of the box?
Sorry, my earplugs failed. Did you say was there something that pushed me into an uncomfortable zone or something where I had to think outside the box? Was that the question?
Yes.
Okay. Um, in terms of writing, no, not really. I mean, I guess as far as outside the box goes, no, because I don't try to do it outside the box. I just try to do what comes naturally. But uncomfortable, yes, and sometimes just thinking about things that I was writing lyrics about, weren't things that I really wanted to think about.
Yeah.
Or there were also ideas that I'd scrapped, over the period of time before we came out with it. So, um, but it was just something that I ultimately had to do. So,
Yeah. Would you say like it kind of I'm trying to think of how to word this. Like how would you describe like how you feel now versus before writing everything? Like, do you feel better about like, putting all your emotions in here or, is it kind of like the same or is it like different when you go listen to it and you're like, oh, well, in this song, I was thinking this and now, I'm fine and that's past.
I mean, it makes me feel better just the act of doing it. Like where, for instance, we're playing a show again. So just performing it makes me feel better to perform it. So yeah, I mean, my life's changed a lot over that period of time as well, too, though. So, it's hard to say what is from getting it out there and what's from just life,
Yeah.
progressing. Yeah,
And would you say that it's like different now because other people can listen to it and kind of relate?
maybe. Yeah, hard to say. I couldn't really say what other people would get out of it or think of it.
Well, I think it's different when people, like for example, when I'm having a bad day, I like listening to
Mhm.
like angry, depressive stuff because I'm like, even though I'm having a bad day, like I don't know, it just kind of like you get it out of your system, so it makes you feel better, even though you're listening to like probably some people are like, why are you listening to something that's so dark?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I suppose just kind of getting it out there has kind of helped move on from certain things, you know. But like I said, there's like other things in my life that have changed that have also changed the way I look back at things. So
That's always a plus for sure.
yeah.
And I'm curious where the title for the album came from because it's very
Yeah.
unique, like it's very
Oh, thank
different.
you. Thank you. Yeah, when I write lyrics, it's kind of just stream of consciousness, and then I go back and then I make it fit what I'm doing in terms of like um, rhythmically, and having enough syllables in the right spots and this and that. So I often like start with something, an idea, and it just kind of progresses kind of subconsciously into something else, as far as like the imagery that I have. And that was just imagery that came up in my mind when I was thinking about those lyrics and the parts before then. I was
Hmm.
thinking that that song is kind of about growing up in a city, basically.
Hmm.
So that's where the haze, cacophony, and white light comes from. Um, and just it kind of, aside from just fitting the concept of a city, it just kind of spoke to me. So.
And do you think like being from Maine or Maine base like had anything to do with that as well?
Well, I actually moved here a long time ago from California, and that's kind of
Oh
what
wow.
that song is about. Yeah, yeah. I grew up in Sacramento, California, which is drastically different than Maine. Um,
Yeah.
there's a lot more pollution there. It's much more urban. And right now, I'm in the biggest city in Maine, which isn't very big. So
Yeah, that's a big move.
yeah, yeah.
Do you think being in Maine like has affected like how you write music or how you feel about music or anything like that, like creatively?
Yeah, I think it does. I do get out often. It's a really beautiful state. I go camping and I go hiking and things like that. And, it does kind of give me time to reflect. But I also, in this project, I don't really focus on the things that, bring me peace. That's
Yeah.
not what it's really about, for me. Maybe other things. If I had another project, that part of it would probably come out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, no, Maine is a very inspiring place to live. I don't know where you're located, so I don't know if you're familiar with it. But
I'm in Tennessee, but my best
okay.
friend lived in Maine, so she would always send me like
Oh,
videos
okay.
and stuff and I'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's like 70 here." And she's like, "Oh, it's snowing here." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so terrible."
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, it's a gorgeous state. Very, very, very heavily wooded, though I guess Tennessee probably is as well. And beautiful coastline, and then we've got the mountains out in New Hampshire to the west. So
Okay, so a little bit of everything.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious, what does this album mean to you and also the band since, it's been a while since you created one?
It means a lot to me personally, because it was just the last one we did. Though we've always been pretty obscure, small band, it was probably the most success we'd had before, as far as people actually noticing what we had done, and
Hmm.
also in terms of being able to release something that I felt good about and that had good production and that kind of thing. Um, so, for me, it kind of built up in my head, oh, I really want to follow it up with something strong, and it was really important to me to put out something that I thought had some quality to it.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, every part of it, every riff is something that, we've developed. I do the primary songwriting, but, we bring things out and we kind of work through it all together.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't bring anything out unless it's important to me on some level, which is why, it's been 7 years between CDs or
Yeah.
albums.
I do miss CDs. I heard like on online I keep seeing that apparently CDs are coming back in
Oh, are
fashion.
they?
So
Yeah,
millennials are wanting them, new like people are wanting that over like streaming. I'm like, that's
yeah,
pretty awesome.
yeah. I still buy CDs. I'm a millennial, so
I love
yeah,
CDs, but I guess
yeah,
people are just tired of the quality. And I'm curious, like, what's your take on that? Like knowing that CDs are coming back, cassettes, vinyl.
yeah. Yeah, so this next album, Haze, Cacophony, and Light, it's going to be out on cassette and digital for now. Maybe we'll do a CD release. And the reason for that was mostly, most people listen to digital music these days. It's a little easier, I think, to do runs of cassettes these days, and that kind of thing. Though I would like other types of media. But in terms of what people listen to these days, yeah, I mean, I like having things kind of minimalistic, so I kind of enjoy not having to have too much stuff, but I also like supporting artists.
Yeah.
So, I will buy CDs, and I'll especially buy CDs if I'm seeing a band live, because then I can support them directly, and more of it goes to them. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it.
hmm Yeah, I
And
always buy CDs too because I'm like, I want to support the band and
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'd rather have a CD than like a T-shirt or what have you. But what was I gonna say? Um, I guess the other thing too is though, enjoy I enjoy digital music. Um, there's
Mhm.
some issues with streaming, obviously, as far as like artists not getting compensated and how everything as far as that goes. But I, you never really know, what's going to happen to media. For instance,
So,
we had like in my household, I don't really play video games much, but there's something called Luna, which is like cloud video games, and they basically just swiped it all. Like they just got rid of everything, on that
oh my
platform. And it made me think, and it wasn't really a big deal to me, but it did get me to start thinking about, well, we're so dependent on, cloud hosting, streaming, and everything these days. What happens when someone just decides they don't care to make this stuff available anymore? And, maybe that would happen, maybe not. I kind of think that a large platform might do that, but individuals might, find other ways to share music, like they always have,
yes.
digitally. So, yeah.
And I'm
But
curious, when you said like you like buying CDs and you like
mhm,
supporting artists, but
mhm,
like some people are like you should listen to a CD from start to finish, and other people are
mhm.
like, no, jump around. For this album,
Yeah.
what's preferred?
Yeah. I mean, with CDs, it's probably how people who grew up on vinyl, how they feel. When I have a CD, I want to listen to it from start to finish. Typically, when I listen to CDs, it's in my car, so I'll be listening to the same CD in my car for like a week or two straight. That's kind of how I listen to music. And, I might not be listening to it all the way through in that sitting. I do listen to it all the way through. That's how I prefer to listen to music, though, oftentimes, I end up just kind of jumping around just by necessity, like listening to music at work or whatever.
Yeah. And for this album, would you think like it's best, like was it created to listen to like from start to finish, or is it just like we just put whatever we thought and it just like, listen to it in whatever order you want?
I when we recorded it, it was kind of random in terms of the order of songs. But
hmm
ultimately, when I started thinking back, I couldn't really think of any other way to put it all together. I think it really fit. I think that, the kind of arcs and the way it ebbs and flows makes sense. And again, it was just natural. It wasn't sitting down thinking about, oh, how's it going to impact if I did this or this or this?
Yeah.
I think when you're creative, uh, I think it's important to kind of turn off your analytical brain, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, with this album, do you feel like it kind of like closes a chapter for the band, or do you feel like it just kind of opened a new one that you're ready to like keep going with, or where does this fit?
So when I was working on it, I wanted it to close a chapter, but now I want it to open a chapter. And I think that's part of why it took me so long is because I just put too much like mental weight on it, you know?
Hmm.
Um, but I really am looking forward to what's next. Um, so that's what I would say. You know, initially I would see it as trying to kind of close a chapter, but now I see it as opening a chapter. So.
Oh, that's very different. What do you think kind of like changed your mindset where you're just like, okay, we're gonna end it, and you're like, now we're opening this book.
So I don't know if you have you ever seen The Princess Bride before?
I have, yes. It's
Yeah,
been a while. I've seen it.
yeah. Well, there's a scene where Wesley or whatever is talking about, you know, how the Dread Pirate Roberts would keep saying like, um, you know, sleep well, I'll most likely kill you in the morning, right? And he would say that over and over again. And that's kind of how I felt about music for a long time now. You know, it's like I've
Hmm.
got all these other things in my life I need to do, right? And I'm going to do this last hurrah. You know, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to feel like, you know, I've really done everything that I can do. And it's never enough, really. And I always keep coming back to it. So that's how I would describe it.
Well, they say if you love something, you always come back to it. So maybe there's some truth
Yeah.
in that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep.
So on the entire album, what song are you most excited for people to hear?
So I think the one that I'm most excited for would be one of the ones that we have not leaked yet. I am very fond of the two that we have leaked. So we've done Rise of the Shabti was the first single, and then the second single is Sojourner. And the one that I'm the most excited about is a little too long, I think, to release as a single. It's about like 8 or 9 minutes long,
Hmm.
and it's called A Weary Creation, and it's pretty much like everything that we are. You know, it's got the aggression to it. It's got the kind of just the moody atmospheres. It's got some progressive parts to it. It's even got some classic rock influenced lead guitars to it. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited about sharing that one with people.
I mean, it could be an interesting single. You could like, I don't know,
Yeah,
it'd be like 3 minutes and be like, to be continued.
yeah, that is a way you could look at it. Definitely.
So, what song would you say? Because there's six songs on the album. Which song would you say you had the most trouble creating, or maybe there was one that was like really easy, like it came together without any
Hmm.
issues?
That's an interesting question. I mean, they all came together pretty easily. The only time I really had issues was when I was trying to go back and write the lyrics for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that was just being overly like, you know, perfectionist about things and just, I don't know, it's silly, you know. I mean, you write these songs where the vocals are pretty much unintelligible. No one knows what you're saying anyway, but to me, it's important, right? So, you
Yeah.
know, I delayed things for a long time to get those to where I wanted them to be. So,
Well, I mean, it's good too, even if, I mean, there are some lyrics, I'm just like, I don't know what, I always go back and I look at the lyrics because I'm always interested on like what the song's about. But
mm,
still, like the fact that you take time to actually make them good and, like put
hmm
your heart into them, like that says a lot. So that's really
hmm
awesome that you do that.
Oh, thank you. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily good, but I would just say it kind of, you know, it was just important to me to get it to the point where I felt good about it. So,
Yeah. Well, you could have been like, yeah, I went outside to the trash can, I put my trash in, I closed the lid too hard, and someone screamed at me, rawr. Like it could be
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Take inspiration wherever you can get it, right?
Exactly. And for anyone who has been an old fan from a while ago, or anyone interested in listening to the album, anyone you want to thank, like any final words that you have.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, so I definitely appreciate everybody who's with us over the years. Especially appreciate my bandmates, Brendan and Ray, for sticking along with it for so long, and putting so much effort into what we do. I think everything is just a natural progression with this band from album to album. I think that we've become better at writing songs in general and just arranging things and how they progress. And yeah, I think, those are fans who've been with us over the years will get, another Shabti recording at the end of the day. It's definitely Shabti. And yeah, and really appreciate the effort that John Morris, he does Contem Light, and they are putting out the tape. But he also booked a lot of shows here in Portland, Maine area. A lot of the bigger shows that we had the opportunity to play were thanks to him reaching out to us, and kind of keeping us motivated. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate Aaron from Falls of Boros, which is also a band that Ray is in, for doing the mixing job. I thought he did a really good job with that. He's super easy to work with, and Dan from Resonance Sound doing the mastering. A lot of people really kind of helped us get where we are. So
That's awesome. I'm glad that you
yeah,
had a lot of help. It definitely helps instead of, you're by yourself and you're trying to do everything. So,
right, right, absolutely. Yeah.
well, I will let you tell the audience about the album, when it comes out, where they can get it, and all the good stuff. Any show dates that you have, all the fun information, I'll leave to you to tell them.
Sure, sure. So the album comes out on the 21st, so we are going to be selling it, the cassettes, at our release show in Portland, Maine on the 14th of August. I should say August 21st is when the CDs and digital release will be available through Bandcamp, basically. Um, yeah, and that's that.
Well, awesome. And for anyone watching this interview, I'll put everything under the video so you don't have to go searching and Googling for it. It'll just be one click and you're right there.
Great,
So
appreciate it.